Hello everyone, it's Frankie with MeekSpace.com. Hey, I've had a lot of questions about how to use the downloads on MeekSpace on an Apple device. So I thought I would show you how to get for instance, how to get iSilo files on your Apple device using the downloads on MeekSpace. So the first thing you'll do is make sure that you have a Google account, a Gmail account. And if you have a Gmail account, you'll sign into your Gmail account. And then what I would recommend you do is go to your drive. So you go to drive.google.com and you'll see your files for your drive. Everyone that has a Gmail account has a Drive account. You get a free account. 15 gigs. And so I've got a secondary email address that I'm using here that's not attached to any of my things. And what we're doing here is we're going to show you how to use this to get files. So once you've made sure you've got a Gmail account, you've made sure you've went to drive.google.com so that you can make sure your account is active. You'll go to MeekSpace and you'll go to the downloads link. And what that'll do is take you to the shares on our Google Drive account, and it's the theocratic share. And if you've got a Gmail account and a Drive account, it'll open up your Drive account. And so you'll see the share folder here, and you'll click on this name, theocratic, and you'll go down to add to my drive. Now when you click on my drive, you'll have a theocratic folder that you can open up and see all the files. You don't actually have to go to MeekSpace any longer to do that. So if I was to get back out of here, here's MeekSpace. If we go back to my drive, you notice we've got a theocratic folder. If we open that up, we've got all of our folders. Now how does that correlate to the Apple devices? Well, let's go over here. Take a look over to the right here where you see my iPhone. And if I download an app called Documents, it's a free app, it's called Documents, and you'll come to this main screen. You notice at the bottom there's services, and if you click on that services tab and you add your Google Drive account, so your Gmail account that's attached to your Google Drive account, if you add that to here and then you select that, so I'm going to select the new one that I added, which is this Frankie for Live. And the screen refresh is a little slow. It came right up on my iPhone, but it took a little while to show up here on the screen. Now you'll see the theocratic folder. So if you click on that theocratic folder, again, it's just taking some time for the screen to refresh. I'm not sure why. So what I wanted to show you is how you would grab iSilo files and get them into iSilo on your Apple device. So I'd go into the iSilo folder, I'd go into Watchtower Library Files, and I'd go to English, and now I want all of those files. So in the top right corner I'm going to hit Edit. I'm going to scroll down with my finger so that it took me out of the edit. So we'll go back into Edit, and I want all of those files, so I'm going to click on each one of those files. So now I've got them all highlighted, and at the very bottom I'm going to hit the download link. Now it switched me over to my downloads folder inside the documents folder, and you'll see it downloading all of those files right into your documents folder. This last one, of course, is the bigger file, so it takes a little bit of time. But so it's kind of a little bit of a workaround on Apple devices. What we first have to do is find an easy way to get files onto the device, and then we have to get those files into the app that uses those files. In most cases, when you download files from our Google Drive share on MeekSpace, you can leave them in this Documents application, because Documents is really good for keeping track of all your documents, videos, audio files, all of those things that are not included in, say, JW Library or some of your other apps. So use Documents to download the files, and most of the time you can create folders inside Documents and just keep everything there. But in the case of iSilo files, the only thing that reads or can open up and use iSilo files is the app iSilo. And so in this case, in order to utilize the Watchtower library files, we need to get those into the iSilo app. And so when this is done downloading, I'll show you how we do that. It's a kind of a several step process, but once you've got this figured out and how to do it, you'll be okay. You can do this same process on any new iSilo files that we have uploaded to the Google Drive share, or if you perhaps have them emailed to you or whatever, you can continue to put your iSilo files into iSilo using this method. So it looks like we're getting close here to having that the large full Watchtower library file. While it's still downloading, I'll just explain what these files are. So the one that's still downloading, that's the full Watchtower library. And then we have the Watchtower library index, and then we have the latest version of the Bible and our original version of the Bible. And then we have another version of the original Bible. More than one group worked on the original Bible, and so that's why we have the two versions there. But they're really the same thing, just named differently. But you kind of need to have both of them, because some documents refer to one and other documents refer to the other. And if you don't have them both, you can get error messages when you're trying to open up iSilo files. So I hope that brief explanation of those files helps you better understand what these files are. Now you notice the date 2013. What that is the Watchtower library for iSilo in English was discontinued after 2013. So this is the last version. So this Watchtower library file is going to have everything up to 2013, and then things going back as far as 1970 in the Watchtower and the Awakes and things of that nature. So it goes way back, but it only goes up to 2013. Now there's several brothers that continue to convert all the new publications into iSilo since 2013, and so you can get those individual files and add them to your library, and even though you have to open those up individually, you'll still have them in your iSilo if you want to have a complete iSilo library of your theocratic files. Okay, as you noticed, it finished downloading, and so to get these into iSilo, of course you need to have iSilo installed on your Apple device. If you've got iSilo installed on your Apple device, then you'll go to the Edit button in the top right, and then at the bottom you'll go to the More button in the bottom right. You're going to choose the Open In. Now I just tried to do that and realized, well, I can't open in because I don't have a file selected. So let's just click back on the screen, and I'm going to select this first file. You can't select them all and open in. You have to select one at a time. So we'll go back to that bottom right More, and we're going to, now we have the Open In is not grayed, so we can choose Open In. And if you notice on our list here, iSilo is listed. And now if you don't have iSilo listed, that's probably because you don't have it installed. So we're going to choose iSilo, and you notice it opens it up over there in iSilo. Now if I go to my bottom left corner where it says Doc List, and I'm in my theocratic folder because that's where I usually am. And you see all my files are in the theocratic folder. But if I go up to the up arrow and I go into that folder called inbox, that's actually where documents put that file at. So this is where everything goes initially when you send it over, is in this inbox. Now I'm going to go back to documents, and we're going to do that process again. We're going to hit the edit button. We're going to select our next file. We're going to go to more at the bottom right. We're going to go to open in, and we're going to select iSilo. Now that puts that in there. If we wanted to verify it, we could go to the bottom left doc list, and we wait a second. We should see our second file there. It's there already, it's just not refreshing, but it will. What you can do a lot of times is hit that up arrow there in the top left, and then go back into the inbox, and you'll see it refreshed in there. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to documents. I'm going to hit the edit in the right. I'm going to hit the third file. I'm going to bottom right, go to more, open in, and select my iSilo. It's going to open that up. Now this file is really neat because the way it was done, it kind of mimics JW Library, so you could actually open this up and use this version if you wanted to all by itself, which is kind of nice. But it also works along with the iSilo JW Library or Watchtower Library. Okay, so I'm going to go back to doc list. I'm going to go up and go back in. You noticed it refreshed there before I even got out of there, but now we've got 3 of them in here, so we're going to go back to documents. Now we're going to edit. We're going to grab this index file. We're going to go to more at the bottom right, open in, choose iSilo. So now we've got that one in there. We can go to doc list and we should see that one appear. So now we've got the 4 files in there, so we just need the one more, the main Watchtower library. So we're going to go back to documents. We're going to hit edit, choose our big file, choose more, choose open in, choose iSilo, and there's the full library now. The way the full file looks is along the top you've got your different publications, then you've got your Bible you can go directly to, and then along the a direct list of all the publications that you can open up and look at. If you keep scrolling, you can go to brochures and booklets and all that stuff. So that's the way it should look. Now if we go back to documents list, we should eventually see 5 files in there. And again, if it doesn't refresh, just use that up arrow, go back to inbox, and you should see everything in there. This is what you should see to have a complete Watchtower library for iSilo up to 2013. So you'd need these 5 files. Now you can continue to use them as they are right here, or you can move them into a new folder like I've done. So if I go up to the up arrow, you see I have a theocratic folder, and if you open that up, there's all my files in there. So that's where I go to actually use my files. Now they all have to be in the same folder in order for everything to work, because there's links linking each file together, and if they're not in the same folder, you'll get error messages. So you need to keep them all together in one folder. So what you can do, if you go back up to the main folder and say you want to create a folder, you would go to the top right, ... and you would say new folder, and let's just call this one test, and we'll be done. Now you see test is in the list there, but I want to show you something before I show you how to fix this. If I went into inbox and I wanted to move these, I would, on the left side, that little picture of the paper, I would click that on one of the files, and you'll get a dialog box. Now let's say I want to do the arrow, I want to copy. So you're going to hit the arrow over and you're going to hit copy. You'll be able to choose a folder, a destination folder. If I choose that folder, you notice my test folder doesn't show up here because it's not made a favorite. So I can't move it into anything that's not a favorite. So let's cancel. Let's cancel out of here. Let's go back to our folder. Now you see test there. If you click on that little folder on test, so you can make it a favorite folder. You can give it a favorite folder alias. So choose that. I'm just going to leave it as test and be done. Now I'm going to go back into inbox, and I'm going to click on that little piece of paper to one of the files, and I'm going to hit the arrow and choose copy. Now under destination folders, if I choose that, see how test shows up? So we'll go ahead and choose test. Now I don't want to leave it in my inbox, so you see the option that says delete original? Choose that option, and then in the top hit copy. Now what that should have done is taken one file out of my inbox and moved it over to test. Now we're going to do the second one. I'm going to click on the little paper. I'm going to choose the arrow. Well, I hit that top arrow there. I'm going to choose my little paper. I'm going to choose the arrow, choose copy, choose destination as test. I'm going to make sure I delete the original, and I'm going to hit copy. Now we're down to 3 files. We're going to do the same thing. Hit the little piece of paper, hit our arrow, hit copy, choose our destination folder, make sure we delete the original because we didn't need 2 copies of it, and hit copy. Same thing. We're going to click on the little paper, hit the little arrow, hit copy, choose our destination, delete the original, and copy. Finally, we're down to the 1, so we're going to choose the paper, choose the over arrow, choose copy, choose our destination folder, delete the original, and copy. Now here we are back to the inbox. There's nothing in our inbox. If we go up to the main folder and go into our test folder, there's all our files. Now if I open up the bottom one, the main file, there's our Watchtower library. So that's how you do it. On the bottom left is your dock list, and of course I'll go through here and I'll delete that test folder because I don't need 2 files with the same, or 2 folders with the same files. But that's just a quick tutorial of how you can use Google Drive to access the Google Drive share on MeekSpace and get that on your Apple device. Now you may have to watch this tutorial a few times, and but I hope that I went slow enough and I explained things enough to where you can kind of get the basic idea of how to do that. Now this works with more than just iSilo files. You can download any files that you have shared to you. The process of getting into iSilo, though, is really just kind of related to those iSilo files. So I hope this tutorial has helped you. Thanks for watching.